Hello, everybody from the U.S. Chess School. How you doing? It's been a long time since I posted. People are coming in late still. I'm seeing your messages. Very exciting. I want to test something. I'm going to set it so you can always send messages to me. I just want to see how it looks. Can you send me a message personally? Somebody. There we go. I see them. All right. Oh, that works well. No more messages to me. It's all good. No, because I was watching Josiah's class the other day, and he said now when people send messages, it shows up in some bubble, but I don't see any bubble. So yeah, Johan usually does the Thursday classes. He always does it when he's around, but he's on a little vacation for 2 weeks, so I'm stepping in for one. I'll try to do my best Johan imitation on Zoom instead of Chessable. So what we're gonna do today is I kind of like didn't play any slow chess games for many years. And recently I've gotten into daily chess on chess.com. So I've been playing actually a bunch of games with a pretty slow time control. Like I can spend a whole move on a day. Sometimes I can spend 3 moves in a day. And I'm international master. I should be able to make good moves if I think for 3 days. Yet somehow I manage to blunder all the time. And I will show you all of these blunders that I made. But a lot of them are very instructive, though. And hopefully, y'all can learn something from them. And maybe next time I'll show some good games I play. But I play a lot. I play like 40, 50 games at once. So, um, hello, everyone. Let's do this. So, first game, we're just going to get to the key moment. I was white. One thing about these daily chess games on chess.com is a lot of my opponents are just so much worse than me. It's like a joke. Like rate, I can just tell like I would probably beat them like 30 minutes to 1 minute time odds or something. Like the ratings are lower. But somehow you still can't mess up. You can't get careless. And unfortunately, I get careless every now and then. So this game, I'm white. We're gonna just zip through the opening. It's not really the point at all. And okay, so my opponent just already makes like quite a bad move here. I mean, I would say this move is virtually losing. We don't really need to think too hard, but what do y'all think white should do here that looks quite strong? Notice my opponent has not castled. Um, just opening the board, opening the center. I'm castled. They're not. And everyone is suggesting knight to e4. Knight to e4 is a very good move because, well, we attack the bishop with our knight. So they have to do something about that. We are also attacking this pawn on c5. So, like, when they go away, theoretically, they didn't do, did they do that? Maybe. But, like, they can't do this because of queen b5 because their king is still in the middle. So already I know, like, I'm going to win this game easily because my opponent's rating was low. Like, they're playing, like, this I mean, very bad move very early in the game. Um, the way these tournaments are often like the daily chess, like official tournaments. They have like every month they have like a official tournament for like 3 days per move. And then what happens is they put you in like a round robin with 5 other people. If you win that round robin, you play all the other people who won their round robins. Then actually the competition gets much more tough. Um, but so I played 94, and I kind of already wrote this game off as a win. Pawn takes pawn, and my opponent just castled because they really can't get away with taking on c5. So now I'm just up a pawn, and I still have like pretty good position. I play c4, knight f6. I mean, I just feel like I'm so close to just winning like immediately. Like knight takes, and well, I played queen g3. I'm doing two things here that are very nice. Attacking the queen with my rook, and I'm threatening bishop takes h6. So, I mean, I'm feeling good about life. Queen to c8. Well, here's the thing. Some people are saying daily got really boring, but if you're playing 50 games at once, how boring can it be? And it helps me like get some practice in slow games because when you only play Blitz, I could show you some mistake I made, but like I spent 30 seconds on the move, so it's not really applicable. This game, I had 3 days to make the moves. So now I played Bishop H6, 98. And now my question to you is how should I proceed for white? I want you all to take a few minutes, and I'm curious how your thought process goes compared to mine. And don't type. I'm going to turn off the chat now because I don't want it going to everybody. So now you're going to have to write to me directly. Spend some time, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Include as many words, variations, thoughts as possible. And don't do anything crazy. Some people are suggesting some crazy moves. This is just a normal game. So I feel good about myself that I'm not the biggest idiot in the world because so many people are trying to do exactly what I did. Some people aren't, but a lot of people are. So I don't feel so alone. Somebody has a username that's just jazz exclamation point. Everyone change their username to their real name. Whoa. Saw a creative idea by somebody. I didn't even think about that move. All right. I forgot to get water. I'm just gonna get a glass of water real quick. All right. So lots of ideas here. Tons of them. We won't be able to go over all of them. Every single idea is actually not so relevant. The main thing here is not to play the best move, it's just to not do something careless. Because well, technically I'm up 2 pawns on the board right now. Maybe I'll lose one on c5. But even if I do, I'm still up 1 pawn. I still have an attack. The position's very, very, very strong. I'm playing somebody who's much weaker than me, which shouldn't be like super relevant, but as long as I don't do something that gives them a really easy game, I'm just gonna win so often. And another thing one of the main things actually that you're gonna see in some of these examples that leads to my mistakes is over obsession with material. Like I'm gonna show one example. Can I make the move so y'all can't see all the analysis? I don't know. We're gonna talk about what I did first. So there's a lot of ideas. H5 with the idea of bishop takes G7, and H6 is an idea that many people came up with. Some people just said knight to F4. idea of like knight to h5 looks reasonable. Rook to d4, idea rook to g4 also looks. I'm a little nervous to put the rook on g4 because if we don't do some attack, if we don't break through, the rook on g4 is like a little misplaced, maybe. Um, somebody came up with the idea of bishop to e3. I'm gonna make some moves. What I actually did, which is not a big mistake yet, was to play h5. Somebody came up with this move, which was interesting. Who was that? I can't. I mean, I have to scroll up too hard. Oh, behind. Bishop takes c5, rook to d8. Bishop takes c5. I can't tell you whether this is great or not, but it looks interesting. We'll probably end up in a position where we're up a pawn. I played h5 though. I think one thing that's really interesting, by the way, well, we'll get back to that. I played this move, and my idea is like a lot of people suggested. I mean, I'm just going to take on g7. I'm going to go h6. I'm completely crushing. The h file is open. Everything's falling apart. So like, they take this, and so what do y'all think of this position? If you have another moment to like reevaluate.
I'm gonna turn.
Oh, somebody put their sound on. How do you do that? Um, if you have a moment to think about bishop takes g7 and h6, how good or not good is it, and why? Because I mean, I'm telling you, it looks really good. Like, it was a lot of your instincts for a reason, because we're opening the H file, taking a pawn right in front of the opponent's king. And some people are saying, if I was in your position, I would not do it to avoid risking something and just play an easy game. But what is the risk? I need to know what that risk is exactly. So some people are suggesting, for instance, h6 and queen to g5. You know, yeah, I remember thinking, I'm like, I thought this was not enough. I see how it's like a little risky. Well, what did I do? I take the queen? I can't remember, honestly. I figured like rook to d7 here is just, quite good for me. I agree, it's like, I probably still have to work to win this game. But still, I wasn't too worried about that. The real problem, which I don't know that anyone has suggested, and it's a serious problem, is, well, h6. They play queen f5 first, which is reasonable, and then simply bishop to f6. And I take the knight, and they take. And so I have this open file, but if anyone here plays like the dragon or certain openings with the dark squared bishop, white's attack is actually not very strong. If I had two moves in a row, I can barely like force mate, except for rook h7. There's just not that much of an attack. And what do we think about this bishop on g7? It's like extremely strong. It's not just a key defender, that bishop on g7. I'm going to open the chat for everyone for a minute. It's a monster. It's bearing down on my b2 square. I kind of, somebody said star of the show. It is a star of the show. But again, if your name, please change your name to your actual real names, so I can be sure that everyone here is supposed to be here. Yeah, it's like a dragon bishop. Honestly, I saw it as soon as I played h5. I kind of realized that I was too hasty and that this position's not so clear after bishop g7. And I had so much regret, but I'm like, you know what? I'm much better than this player. I'm going to find something. But what I should have done here It's probably just given away the second pawn, like with bishop e3, and just made a move like I think knight to c3 or something. Um, this position, is this the one that's still good for me? I'm a little worried about bishop to f6. But let me see. Is this good? Hmm. Oh, I see my notes on the other screen. All right. Yeah, the engine says it's very good. It's like plus 1.5. To be honest, though, bishop like this move's like slightly annoying. So I don't think it's so obvious. But I remember it also thinks like almost any move other than bishop g7, white is just much better. Just because we have like this nice attack going, and black's bishop is not like this unbelievable all-star. But you know, and the funny thing is I forced it in my point. I was like, here, I'm gonna make all these forcing moves so that your only response is to like maneuver your bishop so it's like the best minor piece ever. And yeah, I just had a really hard time progressing in this game from here. White still has some like small edge, but it's very complicated. I did this. I was trying to like, threaten rook h8 mate, but what can black do here? Yeah, you can just say in the chat to everyone. Yeah, just king to f8. There's not that much. I was trying to do some tricks with queen a3. Honestly, they could just go back to g8, but they got me a little excited when they played this move. But I couldn't really find anything. You know what? I think I remember like the engine was saying like some crazy move like this. Oh yeah, queen. Wait, what? And then take with the pawn. And it was like maybe white's a little better here, but I just didn't. I don't know. It looks a little crazy to me. But objectively, if I'm trying really hard to win, maybe I could have done that. But instead, I just kind of gave up. I couldn't find anything comfortable, and we drew. So, what is there to learn in this game? Um, why we got some question marks? Somebody says, huh? Somebody says question mark. Draw kind of weird. Well, I still know what to do. Like look at this. Rook d2 is coming. I mean, had 3 days to think, and I just couldn't find an easy way forward. This is definitely not a GM draw. I didn't want to lose. I'm scared here. Like rook d2 coming, queen c2 coming, rook d2, and then the other rook to d8. And like all of my rooks, none of my rooks are helping my king. The f2 pawn is under attack. I think by this point, like the position was just fine for black. And if I'm actually gonna just turn the engine on though. Well, yeah, king e8's bad because of this knight c3 thing. It's like I didn't quite understand, but it's not like so convincing. It's just, but after if king to g8 though, yeah, I mean, I just didn't see knight c3 at all because I just was like very. Where's is my move here? Sorry, knight c3 here. Is it queen c2? No. Oh, queen f2. Okay. I already showed you this line and I can't remember where it was. Somebody help me. Oh, here it is. Yeah, knight c3. But why not? Oh, I think if queen a4. Yeah, so I was thinking if queen a4, just take rook d2. I didn't believe in this position very much. The main thing is I thought his bishop is just so strong that like it's gonna be really hard for me. And I was like really kicking myself over allowing all of this. I'm gonna have to turn off the chat because you're all saying some silly things. Sorry, everybody. Somebody said Rook H8 blunders mate. I don't even know where that is. But the main lessons from this game. So number one, you should always like have respect for your opponent and the ability, their counterplay, especially when you're playing like a forcing line like this. The second thing is this Dragon Bishop on G7. Like I knew right when I saw it, I already knew I just made like a big mistake allowing them that type of counterplay. Um, it's something to keep in mind how that bishop on G7 can defend the king all on its own. I have like two rooks and a queen attacking just like a king and a bishop, and there wasn't much I could do. But the most important thing is to just like really respect your opponents. Don't, I just figure I'm a better player. This tactic's gonna work. Somehow I'm just gonna win immediately, and it just didn't go that way at all. And almost any other idea was better. Like some line that just leads to a comfortable position of a pawn, or even material, but with like without them having like a super clear counterplay. So we're gonna go to the another game. This is like the previous game. I forget the who can remember who can remind me? Oh, previous game. There we go. There we go. Boom. So this was a tournament where I'm playing like the chess.com staff tournament. And this is in this tournament you play two games against somebody. And the first game I was black and I won like so easily. So in my mind, this is gonna not be too difficult. My opponent had been playing much better this game up to now, like much better. But I still had like some, I still have like a quite a better position. And now, who can tell me what white can do? Yeah, everyone's coming up with a lot of people are coming up with the ideas that I played. So a lot of people are saying bishop to b5. Makes a lot of sense. And a lot of people are saying bishop takes g7. To be honest, I can't remember why I didn't go bishop to b5, but bishop to b7 is also good. And my opponent took with a king. And now, what should white do? Just tell me the next two moves. No, not one move. I want two moves, please. And I'm gonna probably unmute some lucky person's microphone so they can tell me what they would do here. Give you all another minute though. And raise your hand if you want me to unmute your mic and let you chat a bit. All right, I'm gonna call on people. I don't know if you wrote the right answer. There's a lot of messages coming in. Um, so apologies if you gave me the wrong answer and I unmute you and then you say it, but it's okay. I played a bad move too. So some on you. We're gonna start with you. I'm asking you to unmute.
Queen d4,
Okay, queen d4, and then let's say king to g8.
then queen takes a4.
Makes a lot of sense. Does anyone else well, Oscar, your hand's still up. I'm gonna ask you what you think.
I think the same thing.
Okay, queen d4, queen takes d4. Um, Ayanash, we're gonna ask you, see if you got the same idea too.
Queen d4 and queen takes a4.
Everybody wants to do exactly what I did. Usually that'd be all right, but today it's not so good. Um, So here's the problem. That pawn on a4, there's multiple ways we can win it. We can win it with queen take d4, queen takes a4. We can also win it with like queen d4 and bishop b5. What is the reason why queen takes a4 might not be as good? Oh, sorry, queen d4 check. I apologize. I totally messed up. Black should play knight f6. So everybody actually gave pretty good suggestion. But queen d4, knight f6. And I'm seeing a bunch of suggestions. Raise your hand if you want to tell me why not to play queen takes a4. Let's get Austin in here.
All right, so the problem with queen d4 and then queen takes a4 is that we evacuate the diagonal, so black will play queen c5, and then we're going to have problems controlling the counterplay on that diagonal.
Yeah, exactly. So queen d4, knight f6, and in my head, I'm still like overconfident, like, well, I'm going to just win a pawn and win the game pretty easily. But queen a4, yeah, allows queen to c5, and like, admittedly, white is still better, but suddenly I had to work hard to find a way to kind of deal with black's initiative. These dark squares are weak. The knight can come in. Vihan just suggested queen to d1. That is the best move. I think it's actually, if I recall, the only move that maintains an advantage. All other moves are fine for black. But yeah, queen to d1, and then if like queen f2, I can't remember. Yeah, I think queen to f1 or bishop to f1. I can't remember which one is best. I managed. Fortunately, my opponent didn't drum up enough counterplay, and they made a few mistakes, so I was able to win the game. But I was very concerned. You should not give this counterplay with queen to c5. So everybody who recognized that and then played bishop to b5, good job. Because I'm still winning the pawn, and black has no easy way into the position now. The knight's pinned. If queen c5, I just take it. The endgame's, good for me. I'm up a pawn. But yeah, a very careless move. And it's not even complicated. It's just one move. Like, it's not like I need to calculate 17 moves deep. Just don't let the queen come to c5. And all of it's because of overconfidence. Like, if I'm playing Magnus in this position, I know, like, if I'm playing somebody like really strong, I know that they have ideas. Like, they're not just going to let me roll them over, and I'm going to think really hard about what those ideas are. And in this game, I failed to do that, and I gave my opponent a lot of counterplay. Somebody is asking, is queen c3 also winning? Oh, let me see. Queen c3 check. I mean, it's probably pretty good. I mean, I guess I'm like a little worried about this. It's probably good. Somebody's saying bishop d1, b5, and then c4. I mean, it's probably good. It's just like it feels a little careless. Um, like one thing I worry about, honestly, is the knight getting to c5. So like, again, I don't know if this actually helps them or not, but it's just like a little concerning to me. Can the king get in? I mean, probably they like the white king can just slowly get in. With like king b2, a4, king a3. The king will just walk up here somehow. But if black's king somehow gets around, it just didn't. I don't love the way it looks, even if it might be winning. I think the more technical thing is something like queen d4, bishop b5, and we still have some work to do, but we're up a clear pawn. Right. Which is the next one we're going to look at? One moment. I just want to find this game. Oh, that one's terrible. Can't show you that just yet. Oh, this is like okay, this is a nice one. Nice meaning. Oh, wait, that didn't work. Nice meaning terrible. This game. All right. Well, that's not the next game. There it is. So I was black in this game. I got a question about when we're gonna have the next thematic tournament again. Oh, that's up to Johan. I'm sure he'll do one in a few months or so. So my opponent plays the Ponziani. Already I'm feeling good. Opening not so relevant, but my opponent's position's already bad. It's like I'm black and it's move 9. Like their bishop on c1 can't develop so easily. But they, d4 is a good move. But I should still have an advantage because like I have a lead in development. And I don't remember if bishop c5 is good. I think it wasn't for some reason. But now is the key position. It is black to move. I want everyone to think for a few minutes and tell me what move you would play. This move that I played was just so dumb. I mean, a lot of you are going to suggest it, so I apologize. I'm not. It's just like I'm an IM though, and like I should know better. And yeah, so we have some correct answers already. Yuvraj gave me the right move. Richardson, correct move. Vihan, good move. Jack, good move. Yegna, good move. I would like, try to write more than one move. Especially if you're playing like a forcing line, like yeah, this one really surprises me that I didn't find this move. This is the kind of move I feel like I would normally find. I don't know what happened that caused me not to be able to find this move with a 3-day time limit. 3 days to find it. I'm giving y'all 3 minutes. Vishva is saying smart things. Richardson is again saying smart things. Austin, smart. That's funny. I didn't realize they could do that. All right, so a lot of people are suggesting bishop to b5. Just calculate, like, at least show me like 2 moves. Like, what is white going to do after that? What will black do in response? Oscar is giving a good idea. Other people have given good ideas. I maybe didn't catch your names. Forgive me, because the messages move quickly. All right, raise your hand if you want to talk about this position. Somebody asked how to raise your hand. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It should be like on the bottom somewhere. Or maybe in the chat. Oh no, it's like maybe in the chat window you can, to be honest, reactions. Somebody says click on more, go to reactions, click H. I don't know. We're gonna unmute Alice.
I said bishop b5 because the only move for white after that would be like rook d1 because c4 is just like
Mm-hmm.
on. And then you could just take the rook on d1 and play rook e1 and check.
Okay. So that's what I thought. Well, actually, I saw their defense, but like my first instinct was also bishop to b5, and they can't move the rook. Rook d1, rook takes, bishop takes, and rook to e1. And a lot of people suggested bishop to b5, and it's the move I played, and it's actually not the best move. Raise your hand if you want to tell me why bishop b5. What can white do against bishop to b5? Nicole, I'm gonna unmute you.
Bishop f4.
Exactly, bishop to f4. And what's funny is I even saw it. Like I played bishop b5. I saw they could go bishop f4, and I was and my thought process here was like, well, I guess maybe I just don't have that much of an advantage, but I'll do this. Um, but to be honest, black has almost nothing here. And it's important to see those in between moves. Like, sure, we're attacking the rook, but rook e1 doesn't work. Rook d1 doesn't work. C4 doesn't work. So you have to fight really hard to find another move for white. And then after bishop b4, it's just like not so easy. If I move the rook away, rook f5 doesn't work because boop, bad, sad little king on c8. If the king's just on b8, the whole line wins for black, actually. Bishop takes f1. Okay, the funny thing is here, my opponent just ran out. They didn't move for 3 days, so I won on time or whatever. But the position is very it's very close to just equal. I forget what I was even going to do here. Was I going to just like put a rook on d1? Oh, see, here's the problem. Well, what's an easy move for white? Oh no, not here. Wait. I can't even remember. Because this looks reasonable. Probably I was just gonna do, I mean, even like bishop g4, I guess. And then maybe something like this. Black can win a pawn, but you know, bishops of opposite color. It's probably a relatively easy draw. Now somebody's saying, what about rook d1 first before bishop check? I'm a little worried. I shouldn't be worried. I was worried about bishop check because I'm like, haha, discovered check, and I'm blocking the check. But this is very dumb because king h1 and my rook is not happy. But honestly, both move orders seem okay then. Somehow I like bishop g4 first to kick the king over to, well, I guess the king could go to d8. This should just be a draw. And maybe white even has some other way to do it. But yeah, I mean, the correct move. So everyone who played the move, bishop to b5, I want you now to think, what is the best move here for black? I know the ones who already suggested it, but I want to see those people who played bishop to b5 figure out what to do instead. Because white has a problem. White's problem is the development of the pieces. And the bishop c1 is the only undeveloped piece. So what should we do? And I'm seeing everybody telling me the right thing. And yes, just g5. Prophylaxis. Stop the bishop from coming to f4. A lot of people are saying, yeah, now the only comfortable square is like f2, d2, and this is just really unpleasant after bishop to b5. Rook to d1 to defend the bishop, and I didn't calculate this so much, but like bishop to e2, it does look quite crushing. We're attacking the rook can't move because we would take this. They take, we take. I gotta make arrows. I forgot how to make the arrows. That's not working. Oh, I did it. Way to go. We are attacking. It's very good for black. The rook on the 7th rank, f2 pawn. Black's basically winning. After g5, the engine just says white. Black's like +1 or something. And after bishop b5, it's almost even. So this was a really big mistake from IM to play. Like g5 is not a hard move. We study prophylaxis all the time, and I just blew it. But on the plus side, I mean, I get to test you guys and girls. Other option, if like g5, rook to d1, probably we can just do the same thing. Bishop to b5. If they take, we're threatening mate. The bishop can't come out. It seems very unpleasant for white. So yeah, a few things here. Number one, you have to see your opponent's idea of bishop to f4, and then you have to think, you have to evaluate that this is actually not that good and figure out how to prevent white's only counterplay. I was kind of embarrassed to miss that. Let's see the next example of me being not smart. Oh, so many of them. I think we're gonna look at this. Okay, this next one's a good one. This whole game is just like a comedy of like this next one is just. I'm sorry, I got some messages. Oh, somebody said after g5, rook d1, g4 just traps the bishop. Okay, that probably works too. Actually, I'm gonna go back for 1 second because I'm getting some ideas. I just want to like quickly address them. So somebody's saying, what about bishop to g2? Yeah, what about bishop to g2? Well, one thing I see, I don't know if this is good at all. It looks like it's probably not good. I was going to do this and then take, but then rook to d2, very unpleasant. Um, very unpleasant. Somebody's saying bishop f6, but probably same story. Just rook to d2. This rook is strong. Yeah, like maybe this is still not so easy, but bishop to g2. Good attempt. Yeah, people are saying like, well, Oscar Vihan says king takes and rook to d1. Yeah, I agree. This is like not, but like bishop to d6, we can at least try to play here. I mean, we are up a pawn, but bishops opposite are tough to win. Huh. I didn't even think of that move. I'm gonna cheat. No, my gut feeling is those positions are difficult. But yeah, I mean, like the engine has us at minus 0.15, which is enough to like, we can try. So it's saying that even though we're up a pawn, it's worth very little. But, we can always try to win that position. But g5 before was stronger. But good find with bishop takes g2. Now, to my next brilliancy. So this one's really amazing. Again, playing a much lower rated player. And this is a tournament where you play them with white and with black. So both sides. I annihilated them with white. I won in like 15 moves. They just like kind of lost very easily with no resistance. And so when I get like I won a pawn this game and like very, very early in the game. Like I'm like okay, I didn't actually win a pawn, but if you see the position, like it looks very unpleasant for white. I mean, the king is wide open. I just expected this game to be a pretty easy win. Okay, so now like I started to do some I'd say immature things. I felt like this pawn on h5 is pretty weak. The king is pretty weak. I can go queen e8, but I can also go like f5, I thought, and like kind of try to round that pawn up. So I want to ask you all though, before we move on, what move would you be a little nervous about playing for black here and why? And I want to hear in words, what about this move bothers you? Right, Oscar is saying Basically what I'm looking for. Yeah, I mean, black has a very good position. Um, but you know, you still have to avoid giving too much counterplay. Sarthak says what I'm looking for. I'm getting a lot of answers just flying in. I I kind of agree with Austin's analysis. So the point is there's one move here that looks like an obvious move that you might play. Uh, Kevin, I like your idea. And the funny thing is I knew it in the game. I knew that this move was a little risky, but I just couldn't help myself. Because I'm like, I'm going to show you the move. It was F4. And I'm like, the knight moves. All right, whatever. Nice, pretty square on E4. But I'm going to go like rook F5, queen E8. I'm going to win this pawn. Like, I'm going to just, the king is weak. Can it really be such a big deal to give them the E4 square? And to be honest, yeah, it's not good to give them this square. I should do almost anything else. Black is just very, very much better. After F5, I'm still better, but it's one of those positions where you're better, but you can't mess up anymore. But in this position, I can just do anything. I could play A5, huge advantage. It's a weird move. I don't know why I would do it. King H8, black's much better. Rook to A8, probably still better by a lot. But once I go F4, suddenly I think bishop G5 is what the engine suggests. Knight to D5 makes sense. At some point, they're gonna have to go E3, and then there's like a weakness on D3 that we can mess around with. Like, man, I could even probably just go like knight back to C7 and try to take on D3. It's not still good for me, you know. But I played F4, which now the knight's on E4. It's almost impossible to kick it out. It's in this perfect central square, and things start to get tricky real soon. And I'm like still like overconfident in this game based on my other game with this opponent and the position and the way the opening went. F3, interesting move. What is the idea of F3? Beyond says it right away. Adi says it. Freya, Austin, Richardson, Jack. Everyone's saying like the idea. Weiss, Alice, yeah, Alice, we're gonna put the knight on G4. We're maybe gonna go rook H1, and suddenly like there's a knight on E4. There's a knight on G4. There's a rook at H1, and in my head, like I feel like I've already written the ending of this movie. I'm gonna win. It's just a matter of when. And it's slowly like you start to think at some point like, well, am I really gonna win? But I was not there yet. At this point, I was definitely sure I was going to win because I mean, I'm up a pawn, but like a much stronger player than this person. Yeah, they have some outposts, but their king is still weak. I'm sure I'll figure out something to do. But it's a type of position now where I can't just like mess up. I can't make just random moves like I could before and still have a huge advantage. Suddenly, I have to be really careful. Knight to G4, and actually the engine evaluation is very close to even at this point. Knight to D5 seemed good. E3 squares here. Knight to D. Look at my pretty knights, but somehow it's not so easy. King to F2. This was a good move. It's good for two reasons. Somebody tell me what those reasons are. Two simple reasons. Nothing overly complicated. Sartok says basically the right thing. It gets the king out of the pin and queen to G1. So it frees the queen from the defense of the E2 pawn. Yeah, Alice says it too. Gets the king out of the way and gives potential G file for other heavy pieces. Knight takes E5 could also be a threat. So it threatens knight E5. Nobody mentioned that. That's a third thing. Defending the E2 pawn, planning queen G1, queen H2. It's starting to get really annoying very fast. Yep, Oscar says can bring the queen to H2 via G1. Yegna says king out of the way. So I played Queen F5, defending E5. My opponent played Rook E. By the way, guess the evaluation after Rook to H2, the computer evaluation. A lot of 0.0s, then we got a +1, we got a 0.2. I'll turn it on so we can see exactly. We'll turn on the engine after like a little bit of time. All right, I'm getting a 0.5, 0.3. Engine eval. White is clearly better. And it's suggesting stuff like knight f6, which I'm never doing in a million years. I was not yet. Well, my opponent didn't play rook h2, so I didn't have to think about it. But yeah, it's just black's up a pawn, but white's pieces are so beautiful. Black's king's a little shaky. The rooks and the queens are coming on the h file and the g file. I was lucky they played rook h3 because this. Why is rook h3 a little riskier? And just put in words. What's like yeah, Alice says it, Nicole says it, Vihan says it, pin on the G4 horsey, according to Vihan. Jack also has it. Yeah, so the horsey is pinned. So it allowed me like a little baby tactic to kind of relieve some pressure here. Who can kind of figure it out to get rid of one of White's annoying pieces. Raise your hand if you want. I'll call on somebody. Alice's hand's up. She was first. Actually, but I'll call on somebody new who hasn't done it. Vincent. I tried to unmute you. There you go.
I think if we go knight f6 to try to trade off one of the knights on e4 or g4.
So you said, I'm sorry, I couldn't quite hear you. You said knight f6 to try to trade off one of the knights?
Yeah, either e4 and g4.
Let me see. It's probably okay. I was worried about something here. Well, I mean, I think there's just like a better way to do it. To trade off this knight. Something about knight f6, I can't quite remember why I didn't like it. Is there like some I'm always worried about like tricks like knight h6, like queen g1. Do we have to go king h7, which is not bad actually. It seems reasonable. But the move that I played, which I think is a good one, Yegna.
Wait, is 93 possible after?
I missed your voice, but say knight e3.
Yeah, and then after bishop e3, f e3, king e3, bishop g5.
There's something better. Knight e3 is good, but after bishop takes, f takes, king takes, black has something very strong.
Oh, queen f4.
Queen f4, king f2.
Queen takes g4.
Very good, yeah. So a lot of people found this move knight e3. And the point is the knight can't take because we win the rook. If the bishop takes, pawn takes, king takes. Yeah, bishop g3, g5 makes a lot of sense. It might be winning too, by the way. I think it is. Actually, just same thing. Yeah, because the... Oh, I lost my voice. Yeah, same thing, just a little less forcing. But yeah, totally winning also. But queen f2, queen f4, sorry, and then queen takes g4. So this happened. What did my opponent do? They didn't take on e3. Trying to remember if oh, my mouse just is going crazy. King to g2, I guess also playable. I can't remember what to do here. Oh, what's a logical looking move here for black? Vihan says it, Alice says it, Santos says it, Igna says it, everybody's saying it. Knight e6, rerouting to f4. Looks very strong, probably winning. My opponent played the best move, queen g1. But, you know, I got to trade one of these annoying knights. Now it's pretty sure they're going to get crushed. Queen g6. queen to g2. And yeah, now I thought real hard. Like I did some big calculating here, and I was very proud of myself because I thought that I had calculated a forced very good position for me. Whether I was correct or not, I don't know. I mean, this lesson is titled Comedy of Errors, so maybe I was wrong. But take a look at this position and tell me what you would do here for black. I'm not going to call anyone right now. Maybe put your hands down now, and then maybe I'll call later. Um, so some people are suggesting moves like F3. I'm going to need more than just that move. I'm going to need like a series of moves for sure. Um, all right, I think most of the suggestions I'm seeing were probably better than the ones, the thing that I did. I didn't really even think of them because, wait. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't think of them because I thought my move was almost winning. I calculated like some multiple move variation, and I'm like, oh, I win. But of course, I was not right. All right, this is actually a complicated position. So there's something I played, but everyone else is coming up with like really interesting ideas. Like Bishop G5 with the idea of F3. And some people are going like Bishop to H4 in some positions. I don't know when. King to F7 and running the king. The best move according to the engine is ridiculous. We're not going to pretend it. I think the most logical best move that I didn't do, if you're just trying to like consolidate here, is this idea by who gave the idea? Vihan, king to f7. And the idea is we would love to go rook h8, and then if white plays rook h, like so king f7, if white does this, honestly, maybe just king e6. And you know, we're up a pawn. The knight on e4 is very strong, but white's attack against our king is no longer so dangerous. So I think king f7, it was an idea I thought about, actually. It was probably what I would have done if I didn't come up with this forced variation. Somebody's saying a5 to stop b4. Believe it or not, that makes sense, because I remember there was lines where I was actually worried about b4. I can't quite remember which lines they were. Oh, I remember. It's earlier. It's like knight c6, but it's many many moves ago. The engine for some reason likes b5. I don't. Seems very strange to me. But king f7 it also like. King f7 and b5 are the engine's top two moves. I played f3. Couldn't help myself. Bishop g5, let me think. Is it good or is it like rook h5 good here? I don't know. Rook h5, f3 seems annoying. Maybe rook h1. Because we have some like in-between moves, maybe. Calculating is hard. I was just check. I don't know. This seems okay. I'm probably making some blunders here, but At the worst. Oh wait, we're up a pawn. Exciting. Um, it's like complicated. Like probably black has something there. But f3, I actually thought I calculated what was close to a forced win here. And the idea was pawn takes. And now the next move is the key. So we had a lot of ideas like bishop h4, which, bishop h4, somebody suggested rook h4, knight f3, and rook takes d3. Probably it seems like it's probably good. If they do all of that stuff. I mean, let's look. I'm just kind of curious. Because we don't have a lot of chess pieces left. And actually, what do we do here? Is rook f8 doesn't do anything. Oh, maybe this is just okay for... Maybe it's okay for white. Queen f7, king e2. Oops, wins. All right. So this actually does win, if I'm not mistaken. We can't find any tricks. Okay. So what does that mean about this bishop h4 move? I mean, it's not like I can maybe go king to g1 if I have to. But it's a very interesting idea. But I'm gonna tell you what I did in the game. I went knight takes f3. And this will be the last position because it's already 8:06. But I want you all to try and calculate this. And I want to see if anyone can calculate like all the key lines. People are trying to predict which bad moves I played, but I didn't play a move that. Somebody said like knight f3, rook f3. I probably played queen takes e4. It's actually kind of interesting. But I didn't do it. It seems losing, like I'm just down too much material. All right, so Sharath is looking at a normal line, and then after that, I thought I had another move. So I looked further than that, and I thought I had a good move that would put white in a lot of trouble. Vihan, again, I looked further than that. I wonder see, I missed a defense, and I wonder if anyone else will miss it too, or if I'm just the only person who's going to miss this move. Maybe I'm the only one. Because a lot of people are showing me the line, and they're like, I don't understand. And then I played actually one move further than everyone's suggesting. I played more moves further than that, and I just missed it like a defense. And I wonder if everyone already sees it because it's so obvious. Jazz also is writing one more move. I went one move further than this, or at least one move. Three rook D. Well, people are looking at some intense lines. I don't understand. All right, I'm gonna make the moves on the board. Okay, Vihan just figured out what I missed. It's the first person who. Oh wait, somebody else did it too. Jazz also. Yeah, to me somehow this move was like a phantom move. I just didn't see it at all. And I'm going to show y'all. So knight f3, I calculated. Rook f3. Let's look at some of these other ideas. So somebody wrote rook takes d3, but I'm pretty sure I'm just dead here. Just down a piece, I think. Rook e1 next move or something. But I play rook f3. If queen takes, we have rook f8. Looks good. There's some other idea here too, right? Oh, queen e4. Yeah, I didn't like this because it just pawn takes. I don't know. Down the exchange. I don't think I missed anything, right? Just lost the position. rook takes f3, so he has to take with the king, and then rook takes d3, and it looks like everything's over here after king e2. But how can black continue, or at least try to continue? It doesn't work at all. But in my head, I thought it was working. If Freya says rook to d4, Sharath says rook to d4. Sharath makes me happy because misses white's defense. Austin says rook d4. Vian says rook d4. So a bunch of people are also missing the same move I missed, so that makes me feel good. I think it's some kind of geometry trick. Yegna sees the correct defense after rook d4. Vihan Pensi now finds the correct defense. All right, so I thought rook d4 is very strong. And while the knight, let's say the knight moves, I calculated this line, rook takes d2, bishop g5. I'm down a rook, but what do? King e1, boom. Is that the right? Yeah, queen to d6. If the king moves away, I take the rook. And there's no like forced draw or anything with checks. Although they almost did. Oh no, there isn't because if king e1, queen d2, and if king e2, still queen to d2. And I don't know if that's the, oh no, checkmate's better. So I calculated this. I looked, I was very, very thorough. I calculated every single square that knight could go to, and I determined that it's good. I calculated this move, also doesn't work because bishop g5, knight takes, queen d3, probably this is what I calculated. Winning every piece. And I just missed the simple defense. It's one move defense. Rook c4. Why did I miss this move? I think it has to do with the fact that usually when you defend a piece, you actually like defend it. Like you put the rook on e3 or something, a piece that directly defends the rook. It's kind of an X-ray, like Sharath is saying, it's an X-ray defense. It's defending the knight through my rook. And somehow my brain did not see this move. And once I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening to me. How am I going to lose this game? Oh, I actually thought I still figured I would find a way to trick him. But he played quite well defense here for a bit. There's no other decent move here. I have like ideas queen e6 and b5. Like try to I wanted to go b5, but it just didn't work at all for some reason. I can't remember why. Honestly, no, what was the reason? I think it was like king to c2. No. Because then yeah, maybe then b4, queen d5. Something like this. It was just like totally hopeless. So I did this instead, try to like swing my somebody says why not cb5? I mean, yeah, cb5 is also probably totally crushing. Sorry, I'm seeing a lot of messages. I was chatting, so I didn't follow them. I was chatting out loud. I mean, this seems pretty good. Yeah, b5 just didn't work. I mean, nothing works. I'm losing. One problem is I would love for this bishop to get out. I'm going to quickly show you how the game ended, which was a miracle that I survived this game. Although it looks like I have play. If like there's all kinds of weird ideas. Queen d4, just king b3 and bishop c3 or something. I'm threatening some check on a3 or take on a2, but this was a good move. Still in my head, I'm like, the guy's much lower rated than me. Like his blitz ratings on chess.com are like 800 points less than mine. I feel like somehow I'm going to trick them, but I was slowly. I played b5. What's an idea of b5, by the way? Not just to pressurize c4, but yeah, Vincent says it. Vion says it. Bishop d8 to a5. I need to get that piece in the game if I want any chance. They took him b5. I don't remember. Okay, so like if I take on b5, I don't get anything. I guess just queen to b2 or something. And bishop to d8. Why didn't I do this? Is it like knight c5 or something? No, queen d4. Why did I not do this move? Queen c2 probably. It's just my guess. And then, it's kind of annoying actually. Queen c2 is very smart, actually. Some people are pointing out Allison the Santos managed to get mated in 2 moves. Way to go, me. This seems like something I would try. I'm sure I figured out some reason why it's not good. Queen e2, threatening queen c4 ideas? Maybe. Maybe it's just this. Defends the pawn also. Yeah, like what does this do? I got a check. Congratulations. And I'm running out of checks and things. So I played this move, desperate attempts. Queen b4, queen b2, bishop d8. Finally, and now, bishop a5 maybe. The guy played some accurate defense. Because I thought I saw all these moves, but oh yeah, this is like because I don't have any like bishop a5 doesn't do anything. I think was it either king e2, maybe even knight c3, but probably just king e2. But this move, at least I get the g pawn. But oh, and why didn't I take on g4? Probably just like queen b3 type moves. Whoa. Really? I don't even know. Like queen d4, I guess just king e2 and there's nothing. Wait, what? King c2, sorry. Not king e2's very bad. Yeah, there's probably just nothing here. Like if queen g4, just take queen b3, like I have one pawn for it, it's hopeless. So I started like doing these really desperate attempts. Queen d1, knight to d2. I think bishop d2 doesn't work for some reason. Yeah, queen f3 is very strong, wins. So I win the queen. So like the pieces are like a little uncoordinated, so I was like, maybe I can trick them somehow. This is somebody said, what is the time control of this game? Is this like rapid? No, it's 3 days per move. It's daily chess and chess.com. If anyone came late, they might not have heard that. It's a tournament, and I literally can spend 3 days to make a chess move. So there's no excuse for any of my blunders. I can't be like, oh, I was in time trouble. Queen to d4 is good. Queen b3, d5 is probably good too. Somebody suggested that. I played queen f5. I was like, at least I'm going to take a pawn. Like, you look at this, and what is the one hope that Black might have here? Like, fantasy dream? Well, it's check. Queen c4 is check, so I'm going to trade queens. But yeah, some people are saying like the wrong promotion square, right? So that was what I was thinking at first. But then I'm like, I can't. Oh, I need to get my king to a8, and it's just not going to happen. There's no way in a million years I'm getting the king to a8. So I had to figure out. I mean, I could try, but it's not. It's just so I could take on d2 right now to try to get this endgame, but it's just completely hopeless. It's just lost. No chance. So I'm saying wait, king c7, but this is not how the endgame works. It's like you need the king on a8 in this one. So like I had that strange when I was desperately trying to draw, I had this fantasy that maybe this was a draw. But I can just go like this. Just push the pawn. I don't know. I can probably just ignore it. Well, I don't know. Why not just take it? Just demonstrating, just so everyone understands why it's just losing. And the king has no square. I have to go out and then king to b7. Yeah, it's easy to get a little confused about how that theoretical draw works. The king has to get to b8 or a8. Well, b8, I guess, is enough. So I couldn't do that. So I decided I'll go for the knight endgame instead. I just played king f7. And it turns out like it's not so simple at all. The analysis here is kind of funny. I didn't go into much depth. So my opponent already messed up with king b5. For some reason, knight e2 is winning. But now I can go king d5 or king. I played king to d5, or, but for some reason I didn't go into depth. I don't know why this is true. King d5 is losing apparently, and king d6 is a draw. I couldn't tell you why. I just noted it when I was looking at the endgame, and I'll show you. It's probably something about like the king is getting checked in some variation. I'll show you the engine. King d6, it says white's better, but it's a draw. And king d5, completely losing because of knight e2. In fact, the best move is apparently king to d6. I'm sure I could figure it out. I just don't think it's like super relevant right now. I mean, like if g5, it says knight to g3. And like, why that doesn't matter after king to d6. Nobody in their right mind can understand. Like, g4. King to c. Okay, this is very. I guess the idea is we switch to the other side of the board, and when the king's on d5, maybe we can't do that because it's not ready to come this way. But that's like very, very deep stuff. I guess technically possible in 3 days of thinking, but I didn't spend 3 days anymore. I was just like, the guy was moving fast, so I figure I should move fast, and then maybe they'll not win. At some point, it was clear I was going to draw. It's like somewhere around here. I just didn't see any way for them to get in with the knight. Now it's just a draw, actually. E4, G4. This is what happened. King f5 is like a perpetual on the knight. We don't want to do this because of, I guess, knight to G5, and then once they get to the square, it's maybe losing. But now I can just bother the knight forever. If knight G7, king here. It's a funny little dance, actually. Somehow. Let me see what happens. And if they take this, honestly, I don't know. I have to take the knight, I think. But it's just a draw. We both queen at the same time. Thank you for watching me make lots of bad moves. So I think a few things to learn from this are, first of all, you have to respect your opponents. One mistake I made was like giving away counterplay against players just that were weaker than me, just because I thought like I didn't have to respect them, and you know it cost me. This game, I drew miraculously, but should have lost. Material is another thing that's really important. Like I played that move f4 in this game, giving away that weak e4 square, just obsessed with this h5 pawn, and just to be up a pawn. But I gave white all these beautiful squares. Same in the first game, I was obsessed with the material. A lot of mistakes are material based. In fact, there was a few other ones where I made we didn't get to look at them, but they were like materialistic mistakes. Maybe we'll look at them some other time. Maybe next time I do this, though, I'll show some actual good games I played. Happens sometimes, I promise. Every now and then. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful night. Nice seeing y'all again. Bye-bye.